teams from Edison, Magnificat, and Rittman compete on the Nordson Academic Challenge. Yeah, here we go. Thanks so much for being here with us as we celebrate the 54th season of the Nordson Academic Challenge. I'm your host, Rob Powers. The challenge of our show, same as it's always been. 3 local high school teams compete for points by answering questions in math, science, history, a few other topics as well. Let's hear it one more time for today's teams. Edison, Magnificat, and Rittman. Each team will be playing for a chance to make it to our leaderboard. And at the end of the season, the top 3 scoring teams will be back to play for the championship and a $6,000 grant from Nordson. All right, so let's get everything started this morning where we start every Saturday morning. It's the lightning round. All 3 teams compete in this round. We award 20 points for a correct answer. We subtract 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. We're going to start each team with 100 points this morning. Is everybody set? Here we go. For this round, the answers will be persons, places, and things that are between other persons, places, or things. Okay? Here we go. This planet is between Saturn and Neptune. Rittman.
Jupiter.
Uranus is the answer there, sorry. Between Ontario and New Brunswick is this French-speaking Canadian province. Edison.
Quebec.
That is correct. This sea is between Greece and Turkey. Edison.
Aegean.
That is correct. This strait is between the U.S. and Russia. Edison.
Bering.
That is correct. This layer of the Earth is between the crust and the core. Edison.
Mantle.
That is correct. In Brutus's speech, this group comes between friends and countrymen. Answer? Romans. Friends, Romans, and countrymen. This mountain range is between France and Spain. Edison.
The Alps.
The Pyrenees. The Pyrenees is the answer. Between the Stone Age and the Iron Age is this age. Magnificat.
The Bronze Age.
That is correct. This is the U.S. state between South Carolina and Florida. Rittman.
Georgia.
Georgia is correct. And for our final lightning round question, here's the CEO of Lakeview Cemetery, Kathy Goss.
Long a Cleveland landmark, Lakeview Cemetery has a majestic monument to President James A. Garfield, who has served as president between Rutherford B. Hayes and what president whose first name is Chester?
Edison.
Arthur.
That is correct, and that's the end of that round. Went quick, didn't it? Here we go. We'll be back with more of the Nordson Academic Challenge right after this.
Nordson is honored to sponsor a program that celebrates academic excellence. We're a global industrial technology company with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. We donate 5% of our U.S. pre-tax profits to charity every year. Over the past 30 years, the Nordson Corporation Foundation has donated more than $100 million, and our employees have volunteered more than 100,000 hours. And now, we're pleased to support the legacy of Academic Challenge. Thank you all for watching, and the best of luck to all the participants.
And we welcome you back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. If you'd like more information about any of the schools that appear this season, you can scan the QR code you see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen with your cell phone. That code will take you to news5cleveland.com's Academic Challenge page. We've got all the information, all the links for this season's schools' websites right there. All right, time now for the Hot Picks round. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions. Correct response here is worth 20 points. No penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. But before we hear the questions, let's meet the members from our teams. Edison, you're team number 1. Nadia, you're the captain. Congratulations. What do we need to know about Nadia?
Besides Academic Challenge, I am the Student Council Vice President and am a multi-instrumentalist and vocalist.
Multi-instrumentalist. There you go. Hi, Jeffrey. Good morning.
Morning. Besides Academic Challenge, I'm involved in drama club and speech and debate at Edison.
Awesome. Hi, Noah.
Hi. Outside of Academic Challenge, I'm involved in speech and debate, and I'm also junior class president at Edison.
Good for you. Edison kids are busy this year. For your questions, Edison, Lily from Magnificat, you're the captain. Envelope 1, 2, 3, or 4, your choice.
3.
3. All righty. Edison, these questions are all yours. All set? Here we go. Big Bend National Park is a big attraction on what river that forms much of the Texas-Mexico border?
The Rio Grande.
That is correct. If good fences make good neighbors, then goodwill should have been common in what German city, divided by a wall from 1961 till 1989?
Berlin.
That is correct. Catherine Lee Bates got the inspiration for her song, America the Beautiful, while atop what Colorado mountain that's always called a peak?
Pikes Peak.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here is your science question. Lord Kelvin hypothesized that all molecular motion would cease at which of these temperatures?
0 degrees absolute.
That is correct. Several years ago, an archaeologist looking for some shade discovered a 2,000-year-old mural painted by what Indians who lived in the Yucatan Peninsula and Guatemala?
The Mayans.
That is correct. In 1789, a mutiny took place on what English ship when the crew members overthrew Captain Bligh? Answer?
The Beagle.
The HMS Bounty. The Bounty is the answer. No problem. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to evaluate this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer.
6.
6 is correct. Ian Fleming, who wrote the James Bond novel Goldfinger, had an estate named Golden Eye on what Caribbean island whose capital is Kingston?
Jamaica.
Jamaica is correct. Nice round, Edison. There you go. All righty. Our second team this morning comes to us from Magnificat. Lily, you're the captain. Congratulations on that. What do we need to know about Lily?
Hi, I'm a junior at Magnificat. I'm a member of the varsity rowing team, and I'm the president of the Dungeons & Dragons Club.
There you go. Welcome, Lily. Hi, Eliza.
Hi, aside from Academic Challenge, I am the captain of the varsity rowing team, and I'm an officer of Rho Kappa Honor Society.
There you go. Another busy one. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm a member of the varsity rowing team, and I'm also president of the hiking club.
There you go. Welcome, Magnificat. We sure do enjoy having you here this morning. Rittman, Captain Anna, envelope 1, 2, or 4 for Magnificat?
1.
1. Okie dokie. Magnificat, these are just for you. All set? Here we go. The lofty phrase, "What hath God wrought?" was used in 1844 to demonstrate to Congress what invention developed by Samuel Morse?
Morse code.
That is correct. When U.S. presidents are listed alphabetically, the man who comes first is what Massachusetts statesman who was our second chief executive?
Adams.
That is correct. Following the Declaration of Independence, what articles served as a sort of constitution holding the 13 former colonies together?
Articles of Confederation.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. In arthropods, the hard outer exoskeleton is formed by the secretion of which of these?
Chitin.
That is correct. Not one to play favorites, what young Macedonian conqueror, when on his deathbed in 323 BC, willed his empire to the strongest?
Alexander the Great.
That is correct. A collie named Lassie became a TV star, but a dog named Buck became famous as a result of what novel by Jack London? Answer?
Pass.
The Call of the Wild is the name of that book. Okay, back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to evaluate this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer. Answer?
72.
54. 54 is the answer there. That's okay. The fossil remains of giant crocodiles and 300-pound turtles have been found in what South American country whose capital is Bogota?
Uruguay.
Colombia. Colombia is the answer. All right, Magnificat, nice round. And that brings us to Rittman. Rittman, good morning. Anna, you're the captain. Tell us all about Anna.
Good morning. I am the NHS president at our school, and I play soccer year-round, and am very active in the arts in band, choir, and drama club.
Awesome. Welcome. Hi, Connor.
Hello. I do band choir. I also throw for track, and I'm part of the Rittman Drama Club.
There you go. Hi, Ethan. Good morning.
Good morning. Outside of Academic Challenge, I'm a member of the Civil Air Patrol, where I'm trying to get my private pilot's license.
Wow.
I'm a member of NHS, and I also am congressionally nominated to the U.S. Naval Academy.
There you go. I'm impressed every Saturday with these kids, but this is just fantastic. All 9 of you, congratulations. For your questions, Rittman, we come back to Edison. Nadia, you're the captain. We're left with envelope 2 or 4?
2, please.
2. All righty. Rittman, here we go, just for you. Set, here we go. To celebrate the 75th anniversary of this creation, the Corning Glassworks created a 75,000-watt example of what incandescent invention of Thomas Edison?
Light bulb.
That's correct. Climate change and loss of ice are threatening the survival of what flightless birds native to Antarctica?
Penguins.
That is correct. One U.S. law that went into effect in 1935 was what act, which provides old age payments based on 9-digit identification numbers?
Social Security.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. In an animal cell, the centrosome aids in which of these?
Excretion.
Mitosis. Mitosis is the answer. The island of St. Lucia in the Caribbean is named for a saint born on what largest Italian island in the Mediterranean?
Sicily.
That is correct. The classic model of a faithful wife, what Homeric woman suffered the long absence of her husband, Odysseus? Answer?
Pass.
Penelope is the answer there. Back to the monitor. Here's your math question. Evaluate this expression, giving your answer as a positive integer.
3.
3 is correct. At age 12, what African-American boy joined the crew of a merchant ship and spent 6 years at sea before joining Robert Peary in his quest to reach the North Pole?
Pass.
Matthew Alexander Henson. Nice round, Rittman. Good job. Nice round, all of you. That's the end of that round. We'll be back with more academic excitement right after this. Today's judge is sociology instructor Jacqueline Arndt from Cuyahoga Community College. Jacqueline, thanks again. 2 weeks in a row. Thanks for being here. All right. And we welcome you back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Let's take a look at our scores right now. So far in third place with 200 points, Rittman, 220 for Magnificat, 320 for Edison. Hold on, though. Teams are going head-to-head once again here. This is our picture-perfect round. Each correct answer here is worth 20 points. But for a wrong answer or no answer, we take away 20 points. Again, this is for all three teams, so hands on the buzzer, eyes on the big monitor, down front. All set? Here we go. This is artist Albert Ryder's depiction of what winged horse of Greek mythology? Rittman.
Pegasus.
That is correct. This peaceful scene is in Peace Park in what Canadian province whose name begins and ends with the letter A? Edison.
Alberta.
That is correct. Located in the Gulf of Bothnia, the Åland or Åland Islands are part of what Nordic country whose capital is Helsinki? Edison.
Finland.
That is correct. This expression is equal to the log of what number? Answer is 24. Renoir, who painted this work, was associated with what I-initialed group of French painters noted for their treatment of light and color? Magnificat.
Impressionists.
That is correct. Fill in the blanks here, and you can name what seabird that hunts in groups and is named in the title of a novel by John Grisham. Edison.
Pelican.
That is correct. This newspaper headline describes the final meeting of Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin in what city on the Crimean Peninsula? Edison.
Yalta.
That is correct. This issue of Cleveland Magazine may make you want to hit the road and drive 461 miles to New York City, or it may make you want to drive 742 of which unit of measurement commonly used by our neighbors to the north? Edison.
Kilometers.
That is correct. That's the end of that round. That was a quick one. Here we go. Don't go anywhere. Our exciting grab bag round to determine today's winner. That is still coming up. After, of course, we mix it up. Stick around. Hey, welcome back. Here are our team advisors for this morning. From Edison, it's Sarah Roan and Amy Facemeyer. From Magnificat, let's say hello to Gregory Sislak. And from Rittman, Lance Larison is here. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thanks for bringing the kids. All righty, here we go. Let's get back to the kids now. It's time to mix it up. One at a time, I'll ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points, no penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 6 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. First up, the team from Edison. All set? All yours. Here we go. Take one word from each column here, and you'll name what famous Revolutionary War battle.
Bunker Hill.
That is correct. There are many types of government, but which one of these words refers to a government made up of the very rich?
Plutocracy.
That is correct. Can you change one word here and make this statement correct? What word would you change? What word would you change it to? Answer?
Truth to mother.
Sorry, it's universal to sojourner. Okay. This Greek letter fits into what word, naming a huge Egyptian statue near a pyramid?
Sphinx.
That is correct. Given their numbers, you could count on which of these mythical groups to field a baseball team?
Muses.
The Muses. There are 9 of them. There you go. The Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote this about what sweet, sticky substance the favorite food of Winnie the Pooh?
Honey.
Winnie the Pooh makes academic challenge. You're correct. Way to go. There you go, Edison. Wow. All righty. Now let's get to Magnificat. Again, these are all yours. All set? Here we go. Take one word from each column here. You'll name what best-known geyser in Yellowstone Park?
Old Faithful.
That is correct. If somebody said you were dilatory, they would be accusing you of being which of these?
Being slow.
That is correct. She didn't do this. Can you correct this statement by changing one word? What word would you change? What would you change it to?
Astronomer to prisoner.
That is correct. You will say ah when you fill in the blanks here to name what temperature scale we use in the United States rather than the Celsius scale.
Fahrenheit.
That is correct. Which one of these islands is part of Indonesia?
Java.
That is correct. With these words, Oscar Wilde dismissed what huge waterfalls on the U.S.-Canadian border?
The Niagara Falls.
That is correct, and that was for the bonus point. There you go. Oh, it's getting close. All right, Rittman, you are up. These questions are all yours. All set? Here we go. With one word from each column here, you can get what nickname of the cavalry volunteers organized by Teddy Roosevelt to fight in the Spanish-American War?
Rough Riders.
That is correct. If you wanted to bone up on dinosaur bones, you would most appropriately consult which of these experts?
Paleontologist.
That is correct. This does not look right. Change one word to make it correct. What word would you change? What would you change it to?
Cold to fire.
That is correct. Here you see every other letter in the last name of what abolitionist who published the North Star newspaper?
Douglas.
That is correct. Which of these phrases can be described as alliteration?
5 furled flags.
That is correct, and that was big. This is for the bonus points. With these words, an English prime minister decided against building what Middle East canal that was actually completed in 1869?
Palmerston.
The Suez Canal is the answer there, but nice round, Rittman. In fact, nice round, all 3 teams. That's the end of that round, but hold on. We'll be back with our final and deciding grab bag round right after this. Here we go. Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Come on in. Before we continue, we're going to recap the scores as we have them right now. With 320 points, Rittman. 385 points, Magnificat leading the way right now. 520 points, team from Edison. Hold on, it's our grab bag round now. It's another free-for-all. Each correct answer here is worth 30 points. A team will lose 30 points, though, for a wrong answer or no answer. Again, for all 3 teams. Hands on the buzzers, eyes on the monitor when we need it. All set, deep breath. Here we go. The Middle Eastern candy called halva is made from what type of seed mentioned in the password for Alibaba's cave? Rittman.
Sesame.
Yes. Unusual natural formations are often considered a sign of good luck, as is the 4-leafed variety of what small? Rittman.
Clover.
That is correct. In 1819, Sir Thomas Raffles founded on a swampy island at the tip of the Malay Peninsula a trading post that is now what thriving city-state? Rittman.
Singapore.
That is correct. Views like this can be seen in what South American country where you can also find Lake Maracaibo? Answer is Venezuela. As if the Civil War were not misery enough, President Lincoln suffered an attack of what disease for which Edward Jenner had found a vaccine? Answer is smallpox. A regulation Major League Baseball has how many stitches equal to the number of innings in 12 regular baseball games? Edison.
108.
108 is correct. St. Augustine, Florida was occupied by the Spanish in 1586 when it was looted by what English sea dog who sailed on the Golden Hind? Answer is Sir Francis Drake. These are the words of what resourceful man, the founder and former CEO of Amazon? Edison.
Jeff Bezos.
That is correct. Richard Nixon put his stamp on future administrations when he abolished what cabinet department once headed by Benjamin Franklin? Answer is the post office. 300 is 60% of what number? Rittman.
500.
500 is correct. The title of Aldous Huxley's novel, Brave New World, was taken from what? That's it. That's our final buzzer. We go straight to the scoreboards from there. In third place today with 385 points is the team from Magnificat. With 440 points in second place, the team from Rittman. And the winner of today's academic challenge with 580 points is the team from Edison. Way to go. Way to go. What a game. Be sure to join us next time. We'll be featuring teams from Chippewa, Pontiac, and Mogador. Thanks for being a big part of this one. I am Rob Powers, and we'll see you right back here next week.